Well, we have begun to see a lot of SUVs in today's day, and there is an SUV in every segment. We have the micro SUV, we have the sub 4-meter SUV, and then we have the mid-size SUV. But an SUV in the true sense is a much bigger vehicle, and we have one of such SUVs with us today. This is the Toyota Fortuner Legender, and we're going to tell you all about this car in this video. और अगर आप ये वीडियो हिंदी में देखना चाहते हैं तो आई बटन में या डिस्क्रिप्शन में आपको इसका लिंक मिल जाएगा, आप जाके हिंदी चैनल पे ये वीडियो देख सकते हैं. Now essentially the Toyota Fortuner Legender is nothing but a different version of the Fortuner itself. It comes with the same powertrain, same mechanics, but a lot of changes on the visual aspects as well as some on the interior as well. So we're going to take a look at all the differences and what's new with the 2022 model. Now if you see up front, you will see a very different grille. Now this is a two-piece grille. The Fortuner gets a single-piece grille and a lot of chrome finishing, which is not present on this car. The only chrome element here is the Toyota logo. Other than that, you get this beautiful piano black inserts, and personally I like the look of the Legender much better than the Fortuner. You also get these nice LED element wherein you get these 4 DRLs which look really nice. You get projector LED fog lamps, and this bumper is also redesigned for the Legender. The Fortuner comes with a much brawny looking bumper, but here it is a little subtle and it gives it a more premium kind of a look. You also get these turn indicators which are sequential and they look really nice when they are blinking. Also near the number plate you have this satin silver finish, and this space that you see here is basically supposed to be for a 360 camera. However, it is missing on this car. Now looking at the side profile, from the side the silhouette remains pretty much same to the Fortuner, but there are some differences, like you see this two-tone roof. This is a black roof and you get a lot of black elements on the door as well on the A, B and C pillar. Also this car comes only in one color, which is the pearl white that you see here, and it by default it also gets the black and white dual tone finish. You also get dual tone finishing on the ORVMs. You have integrated turn indicators right here. And talking about the wheels, starting from the base variant of the Legender, whereas in the Fortuner you get 17 inches, and on the 4x4 variant you get the 18-inch version, but on the 4x2 and the 4x4 on the Legender you will get 18-inch alloy wheels. You get a nice step here for getting into the car because this car is really tall and it has a massive 225 mm of ground clearance. You get chrome door handles which look really nice, and all the 4 wheels are 265 by 60 section tires, and these are dual purpose tires, so you can do a bit of off-roading with these as well. At the rear you get a shark fin antenna which is finished in piano black. You get a nice spoiler, rear wash pipe. You have the Toyota logo here, and you see the Fortuner badging is right here, which is pretty well hidden in this piano black finish, and you get the Legender badging right here. And the LED tail lights also look really nice. They are different from the Fortuner and completely redesigned, and you also get sequential turn indicators right here. You get this nice bumper which you will not find on the Fortuner. You get this nice L-shaped cladding right here and piano black finish on the bumper itself. Now you also get a full-sized spare wheel which is placed right here under the car. Now while we are behind, let's talk about the boot as well. So there are 3 ways to open the boot. One is by pressing the button right here. Second one is to swipe your foot under the car. And the third way is to use this remote key. You can press and hold this button right here and the boot will open up automatically. Now this is an electrically operated tailgate, so you don't need to lift it up or put it down. Now you get a 265 liter boot when all the 3 rows are up, but you can put the third row down, you can put the second row down and open up a lot of space. So much space that you can literally move houses in this car. To shut the boot, you can simply swipe your foot right here, or you can press the button that is right here and the boot will close itself automatically. Now the key for the Legend is also a little different, and you can see these gray elements that are there. You get the Toyota logo, the lock and unlock button, and obviously this is the boot release button that we showed you earlier. To unlock the car, you can simply unlock it by pressing the button, or you have request sensors on both the doors. Now, since this is a 7-seater, I'm going to show you the third row first and see how to get in there. So this has a nice tip and tumble function. So you simply release this knob right here and the seat will tumble itself. So the ease of use of this is pretty easy. So it's pretty easy to fold the middle row and get into the car. So you have this nice step and you can comfortably get into the third row. Now in the third row, the space is not as comfortable as in the middle row, obviously, and for someone of my size, I should be able to do very short journeys comfortably in this. However, the seat is pretty wide, so seating 2 people is going to be comfortable. I can move around a little bit, so I have a little space if there is no one sitting next to me. However, I'm sitting knees up, so there's very little room to, for me to move around and keep my legs comfortable. But I can request the passenger in the middle row to move the seat a little ahead and free up some space. Headroom is okay. It's not very good. I am 5'9" and there's barely any space between my head and the roof. However, to keep things comfortable, I get my own AC vents at the rear, so that's going to be a relief. Also, you get this crevices right here to hold a bottle, phone, and a wallet or other knickknacks that you might want to keep. Let me show you how the comfort is in the middle row. Getting into the middle row is much simpler than getting into the third one. And as you can see, there is a lot of room right here. There's a lot of space to move my feet under the front seat, lot of knee room, and the headroom is also pretty decent. And to be more comfortable, I also get a armrest, and you also get cup holders which can be hidden right like this. So overall, the middle row is going to be very comfortable. You also get these hooks to hang bags or something like that. You also get 2 USB charging ports right here and a slot to keep your phone, magazine holders. You get your own AC vents and you get AC controls as well right here. You can adjust this fan speed and you can turn it on to auto. You can also keep the temperature on automatic, and if you want to switch off the AC behind, you can switch that off as well. Nice reading lamps, they're very bright LED, so that is also a very good thing. Overall, the cushioning is pretty good and you should be very comfortable in the middle row. Besides that, this car has another trick up its sleeve. As you can see, this seat can recline itself all the way down and you can, actually go for a nap while you're on the long drive. Now let's see how are things in the front. Now when you enter the cabin of the Legender, you will see a pretty similar layout like the Fortuner itself. There are not a lot of differences except the choice of colors and materials. Right here you get scratchy plastic, and on the dash over here, this part, you get soft leather with a maroon stitching, which also matches this leather finish that you see right here. You also get satin silver garnish here, and you get the infotainment screen, controls for the air con, and you also get air con controls right here. There's a nice little clock here which looks really good, and here you have the controls for the ventilated seats. So yes, the car gets ventilated seats at the front, and you get a 12-volt charging port right here, and a USB port as well as an aux port as well. You get 2 cup holders, and if you don't want to use the cup holders, you can simply put this down and you get this nice surface finish right here, which looks really good. Besides that, you also have a wireless charger right here, and the best part is that you can turn it on and off using this button. So if you just want to store your phone and not charge it, you can put it off and you can store the phone. Now this is the drive selector. It has a nice leather finish to it, satin silver finish right here. It's nice to hold. However, the slotting of the drive selector is a little tedious. You'll have to get used to it. You have a nice leather finish on the handbrake. The handbrake is manual. You get 3 driving modes: eco, normal and sport. I'll talk about that a little later. And you also get traction control off, on and off, and automatic turn on and off for the car. Now these 2 slots right here, they are used for 4-wheel drive modes, and since this is not a 4-wheel drive car, those buttons are missing here. And if you see this slot as well, this is also for the 4-wheel drive controls, but again, since this is only a 4x2, those controls are missing right here. You get 2 glove boxes. One has this nice leather finishing on it. You press this Fortuner badge right here and it will open up. This is a cooled glove box, and you also get a locked glove box right here. It has a lock to it and it's pretty spacious right here, so you can store all your documentation here. Besides that, the cushioning on the seats is pretty good. You get perforated leather because this seat has ventilation as well. Nice maroon stitching and maroon highlights on the upholstery for the front and all the 3 rows. Here you have a sunglass holder, nice LED lights, and also auto dimming ORVMs. You also get vanity mirrors which are illuminated for both driver and passenger side, which is really nice. Coming to the steering wheel, you get a nice leather wrapping right here, and this has a nice smooth texture which looks really good. On the Fortuner, you get this in a wood finish, and you get paddle selectors. You have all the controls for the MID and your media controls on the steering wheel itself. Also, you have the cruise control selector right here. Overall, it is a pretty loaded car. It has all the basic functions that you require. Now let's take the car for a spin and tell you how this car drives and performs. So now we are driving the Toyota Legender, and right off the bat, the performance of this car is not very different from the Fortuner. It has the same performance, output and driving dynamics, so there's nothing different to talk about here. However, I'm going to tell you how this car performs and how this car feels while you're driving it, and how is the overall comfort when you're being driven in the car as well. Talk about the power first, and this car produces 201 horses and 500 Newton meters of torque. Yes, that's a lot of torque, and that is what you should buy this car for if you are looking for a torquey engine. Talking about the engine, it's a 2.8 liter diesel engine which is mated to a 6-speed torque converter. Now the Legender comes only in automatic options, and you get the 6-speed torque converter on both the 4x2 and the 4x4 variant. So you get this only in the diesel option, only in the automatic, and obviously you have 2 options in a 4x2 and a 4x4. The 4x2 that we are driving right now also can do a bit of off-roading, not a lot of it. So some sort of soft roading can be done in this car, and you will be very happy with its performance because of the torque that this car can produce. However, if you want to do hardcore off-roading, you should go for the 4x4 variant. Getting that out of the way, let's talk about how the ride quality is. The ride quality is it's good, it's decent. I wouldn't say it's the best. It's because of the suspension, and the suspension is very, very softly sprung, so you get a lot of vertical movement when you're driving the car within the city. Even at high speeds you get a lot of vertical movement, and that's because of the softer suspension. In the city, however, you will like this setup because it will take on, and at slower speeds the undulations will not be felt as much, but at higher speeds, as you put on the highways, when you're going at higher speeds, there is going to be a lot of vertical movement. You also get some bit of body roll while turning the car. That's because this car is a body on frame, and secondly, it is a very tall car. Its ground clearance is 225 mm, so it makes it a very tall car. And talking about handling, the steering wheel, it weighs up pretty well. At higher speed it balances out the weight, but it is not very light at slower speed. So it's, while you're moving, it's pretty easy to handle. It's not a big problem. The car is pretty long and wide, but still you can manage while the car is moving. But when you are making those parking maneuvers, when you're trying to park the car and you are trying to make a 3-point turn, that's when you will have to work this steering wheel really hard, and you'll have to put your back into it and get this car to turn. Other than that, it handles pretty well at higher speeds. There is no problem whatsoever. It's very easy to make those quick overtakes on this car. Talking about outright performance, that's where it does lag a bit, but that is the character of this engine. So you cannot expect it to go from a 0 to 100 in like below 10 seconds. This will take about 12 to 13 seconds to get to that 100-kilometer mark, and that is basically the characteristic of this engine. But however, when you want to make those quick overtakes, you can use the paddle shifters, put a gear down, and you can easily make that overtake maneuver. The gear shifts are pretty smooth, so there's nothing to complain about. Other than that, the overall performance of the car is pretty good. Now, one good reason to buy this car is its sheer road presence. And I'm sitting very tall, and you know, all the other cars, they look pretty low, and you know, whenever you are they see you in their rear view mirror and you flash your headlights, they will give you way because they see a big butch SUV approaching. And that is the kind of respect this car commands, and which is why, if you are looking out for something that, you know, looks like a true blue SUV and has that butchy brawny road presence, that's the kind of a car that you're looking for. You want people to get out of the way when you could drive in. You should definitely consider buying this car. Talking about the mileage, Toyota claims that this car can give up to 14.5 kmpl, but in our overall testing, where we drove this car for about 500-600 kilometers, we have achieved a mileage of 11.4 kilometers to the liter. And this is in both driving conditions. This is highway driving as well as city driving in stop-go traffic. So based on that, 11.4 is a really good mileage for the car of this size and this engine capacity. Now, this car is priced at 40 lakhs ex-showroom. That's for the 4x2 variant, and 44 lakhs ex-showroom for the 4x4. There are not a lot of differences in features between these two cars, except the fact that one is a 4-wheel drive and the other is a 2-wheel drive. So if you are a regular off-roader, then you should consider buying the 4x4 variant. Besides this, you can opt for the MG Gloster, but then the Gloster does not look as butch and brawny as this car, and though the size of the car is big, it does not have this imposing, intimidating look. So obviously the Gloster is loaded with a lot of features, but you'll have to see what exactly are you looking for in the car to make your purchase decision. Other than that, Toyota will also give you a 3-year warranty, and which is 3 years or 1 lakh kilometers. You can extend it up to 5 years or 2,25,000 kilometers as well. So yes, you will get Toyota's trust and service promise when you buy a Legender. So that is another plus when you buy this car. Let us know, what do you think about this car? What do you like, do you not like about this car? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. This is Vipul signing off. I will see you in the next video. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.